All right. So just by looking at, these two beautiful women that you can see on the screen,
Oh
which of them
yeah.
would you say turns you on the most and why?
Bruh.
Which of them would you say has long hair and which of them would you say has short hair? Based on what you say a woman has long hair and based on what you say a woman has short hair. Greetings to you wherever you are watching me from and welcome to Minikun Levity. Before I actually started making videos and encouraging black women to actually, not shy away from their authentic selves, because that is what actually turns on most black men and even other men out there. You know, before I started encouraging black women to keep their afro hair, you know, up like 101, okay, up like 1111, right? Before I started encouraging black women not to bleach and to stay authentic because that turns we the men on the most. Before I started doing this, I had no clue the amount of social and systemic attack that black women actually face that sometimes discourage and break their morale, okay, and prevent them, from being their authentic selves. I had no clue. But in fact, a comment like this on one of my videos says it all, right? Because I could not understand why somebody would put such a comment. You know, I recently reacted to a video of a white lady talking about the fact that, let's say, um, talking about the fact that the aesthetics of black hair or Afro hair or African hair, you know, it's not actually taught in most cosmetology schools in America, for instance.
Black women, listen up. You bitches need to riot, actually. Because I was thinking the other day, and why don't cosmetology schools offer any services or any teaching for your type of hair, for African hair?
And when I reacted to this particular video, somebody came and left this comment saying, is the little sisterhood unhappy because the very little hair they have is so nappy, I was like, why would you put such a comment? And w- a sister actually commented to or replied to this particular comment and said that she is African, yet she has long hair. She has always had long hair right from birth, and she's African, you know. And I was like, wait a minute, what does it mean long and short hair? Because I grew up in West Africa, Ghana, and I didn't know what it means long hair and short hair. So it was true that she explained that in some parts of the world, especially in the America, Europe, and India, and some Asian countries, the Middle East included, to them, the generalized standard of beauty is a woman with long hair, right? And that brings us to the question whether, you know, um, long hair is really more beautiful and feminine as they claim than short hair, right? And also, um, as a matter of fact, is the African type of hair really short? You know, Because just as when I'm talking about the African type of hair, we have to understand that our ancestry is very diverse. That's why it's important that you study your history and your culture. I've always mentioned this in my videos, starting from, right from ancient Egypt, Kemet, you know, Kush, the kingdom of Kush, the kingdom of Nubia, and ancient Kemet, right, till date, till our modern history. If you study that, you are going to tap into ancestral knowledge that would shape your mind and view about your own self. And you will fall in love with your own self, and for that matter, with the black man, because you cannot love the black man when you cannot love yourself to the point of shying away from your authentic, beautiful, gorgeous hair that actually intimidates a lot of people, because the comment that this particular person has left is simply nothing but a sign that most people are intimidated, and out of envy they actually systemically and sometimes individually attack black women. Like, for instance, black women are not allowed to work in certain hotels as receptionists if they don't wear wigs. Black women who, so the system is designed to try to let you shy away from keeping your natural hair. And that is even the more reason why, for instance, in cosmetology schools all across the world, outside Africa, and especially in the US, they don't teach you about the cosmetology of our skin and our hair, but they rather market products, encourage you to bleach, and sell you fake hair that don't even look like your natural hair, just to humiliate you and to break your confidence. But in real sense, look at how gorgeous and beautiful you look. And they are intimidated by that. If not, I don't understand this kind of comment. So that also brings us to the question whether or not the African hair is really short. If you have this type of hair, like I said, our ancestry is very diverse. If you have this type of hair and you leave it to grow, you could call it long or tall. Let it stand as tall, let it stand up like 111 101. Okay, never let it bend like seven. Never let your hair bend like seven. If you are an African, like this particular sister that commented and said she's an African, yet she has always had long hair, as they call it, meaning the hair bends, and it's not curled and coiled l- like mine, then it means you have long hair. What if you have my type of hair and you allow it to grow as tall as possible? Would you still call that long hair? Or you would still call it short hair and nappy simply because you are intimidated by that beauty? I am not going to speak down upon people that have the so-called long hair naturally. I'm not going to do that. I have no interest, and I don't seek to denigrate any other people, because I see beauty in all women, and you know, regardless of the race. Though of course I would choose the black woman first, you know. And like I said, I'm more turned on when I see the black woman in her natural, authentic self. Yes, and that is true for most black men and even other men out there. So we just encourage you to keep being yourself and stay natural, right? Forget about some of these cliche, long hair, short hair. To me, it makes no sense. Rather, the best definition would be, of course, our culture, because we actually have all these diversities. I'll show you later on that, for instance, Ethiopian women, some, let's say, the Fulani, certain Fulani women in West Africa, people from Kush, Nubia, Sudan. In today, modern day Sudan, they actually look darker than I am, but some of them have natural hair like this. In India, we have black people with, you know, long hair, as people may call it. So I don't even, that wasn't even if they're wearing black people with so-called long hair, I have no interest in denigrating other people type of hair, because I love myself. And I think those who come and put comments like this simply don't love themselves enough. So you shouldn't be intimidated by that. Rather, just understand that they don't love themselves enough. So you should love yourself more. And if they are willing to learn, teach them to also love themselves. That's all I have to say. And the question of where did the notion of, long hair and short hair come from? Like I said, it is based on specific ethnicities and specific geographical locations. I grew up in Africa and I never knew such a thing existed. And why then the stereotype long hair versus short hair? That is another question that we have to ask ourselves. Why? Why this? To me, it is simply because they don't want to see the African queen, okay, the African queen in her authentic self, standing by the African man in his authentic self. All right. Because we cannot just forget history so fast. We cannot forget about slavery. We cannot forget about prior to slavery. We cannot erase all the kind of damage and attack on our identity that continues up to date. We cannot erase that, you know. When, for instance, the Greeks go to ancient Egypt for the first time, they describe the beauty of the black woman as something uncomparable. So it was later on that, the jealousy stepped in, you know, capitalism took over, slavery, what have you, and they started attacking our identity. Now, today, they call us all kinds of names, the very people that they used to glorify and worship. So you ought to know yourself and don't be fooled. That's all I have to say. So it is just to make sure that they attack you, you know, take away your confidence and give you all kinds of excuses that your type of hair is hard to manage. Because in Africa, we have women who keep their hair the way it is. And even here in the West, there are still women, black women, who proudly keep their hair naturally. So this attack is to make sure that, and it's simply because they are intimidated by this beauty. So that's why some people will put comments like what I've just read, that, you know, in order to make sure that you change to something like this, actually what destroying yourself. That's all that they want, you know, and you should not allow that to happen. So instead of the confident, beautiful, and gorgeous looking black woman standing with the black man, now we are going to have what? A woman that would wear fake hair, fake nails, fake whatever, and still trying to be African, meaning that there is a cultural subjugation and a major blow to our identity. That is what they want. And that is what actually goes on today. So don't be fooled. Hope you've heard me clear and loud. Thank you so much for taking your time to watch this video. And please remember to subscribe, like the video, and share with friends and family. See you in the next one.